There's a lot to say about the global classic 8-inch Japanese chef's knife, also known as the global G-2. It's not only one of the most popular chef's knives, it's also one of the top 5 best-selling knives that we have at Cutlery and more. In addition to that, it's incredibly unique. The blade and the handle, the way everything merges together, the divots, the lightweight, nimble feel is very different compared to other Japanese knives and definitely unique compared to German or Western knives. What really made this knife popular, I'm guessing, would be Anthony Bourdain mentioning it in his Kitchen Confidential book, page 77 to be exact, where he recommends global knives as a better workhorse compared to some of the heavier German blades. So in this video, I'm going to break down the features of the global G2, explain what this knife is good for, and who might want to add this to their kit next. Let's get started with the blade because that is the most important aspect of any knife. Global uses what's called Cromova 18 stainless steel. Now, something that I want to mention with this blade is that yes, it is stainless steel. It is not stain-proof steel. We have a lot of people that get these and they complain that it has some spots on it after a couple washes in the dishwasher or soaking in your kitchen sink. Please don't do that. Stainless means it will stain less than a steel that is not stainless. It is not stain proof. So take care of this, dry it when you're done using it, never put it in the dishwasher, and don't soak it in your sink. You won't have to worry about that. So check. Now, what's really interesting about this single steel blade is that compared to other Japanese knives, it has a more German style Rockwell hardness coming in at 56 to 58. The benefit of that lower Rockwell compared to other Japanese knives is that this is incredibly easy to maintain and sharpen. So you get the durability and easy maintenance of a German type of blade, but with this global, you get the geometry of a Japanese blade. It is incredibly thin. It has a beautiful taper from the spine to the edge, and it just flows through product. It is fantastic. Now, this is the 8-inch chef's knife. They also make this in other sizes, I believe up to 11. And one of the other things that's nice about the blade is the shape. It's not necessarily German or traditional Giotto. It's right there in the middle. And what I mean by that is there is a perfect triangle basically from the heel to the tip to the spine. And that tip being centered makes this knife great for various types of cutting techniques. As the blade itself tapers off into what we can call the bolster area or into the handle, what makes this unique is the way it flares out. You can actually have a pinch grip with this knife at the handle. So you're below the heel, the choil, but you can still get a comfortable pinch grip. So a lot of people who come from a German knife background where you can't really get a pinch grip at the handle at all, you're up on the blade itself, you get the benefit and the control of holding a knife at the pinch grip, but you don't necessarily have to choke up, if that makes sense. For everyone else who's comfortable with just doing the pinch grip on any knife, you're going to know exactly what to do. You're just going to be up a little bit higher, but with that, you don't have any type of handle or anything that is digging into your fingers. So when it comes to long-term prep, this is incredibly comfortable. The handle itself is also stainless steel, and the way this is constructed is they basically burn the handle and then they polish it so the black in the divots is from that char. It's not painted, so it's going to last a while. You're not going to have to worry about anything chipping out of here, getting specks of paint on your hand. And these divots going into the handle, they make it grippy. And the benefit of them going in then out is you don't have to worry about them falling off, getting damaged or anything like that, or just being an irritant to your hand. It's just a really interesting type of grip that they have constructed. The handle itself is also hollow and filled with sand. So the sand being lighter than if this were a solid piece of steel provides that light, nimble feel to the blade and also gives this a really nice balance right below the blade into the handle. It is absolutely perfect. I mentioned earlier, because of the shape of the blade, that this is great for various types of cutting techniques, whether you are doing the rock chop, that European style rock chop, tap chop, push chop, if you are pivoting and mincing or rocking back and forth like this, the shape just works for everything. In addition to those basic knife cuts, because of the size of this blade and the nimbleness of it, you can also use this as a boning knife. You can slice with it because of the geometry. It just works well. It's definitely a knife that is incredibly versatile. And to wrap things up, who is this knife for? Well, there's a couple different people that would enjoy this knife. The first would be, you're on a budget. This generally is around $120 some, and depending on the sale or the coupon codes you can get on websites, you can generally get this around $100. So it is a fantastic, high quality, budget friendly knife. The next would be any new culinary student or a home cook that is just really getting into cooking. Checks all the boxes for those three categories. Next would be someone who is coming from the world of heavy, bulkier, really, really durable German knives, but they want something a little bit lighter weight. This is fantastic because they're going to be familiar with the maintenance required for a German blade, which would mirror that of the global G2 Japanese blade with their Cromova 18 with its Rockwell Hardness. The one thing I will say, though, a little bit of a caveat, is anyone who's coming from heavy knives, like I came from my 10-inch Zwilling Pro, my 10-inch Wüsthof Classic, and when I dabbled into the world of Japanese knives for the first time, I struggled a bit. In fact, to be totally honest with you, a friend of mine in culinary school got this knife. I was so excited to try it, and he had it on his board. I said, hey, can I give it a go? He said, take it for a test drive. As soon as I picked it up, I put it right back down. It just was not for me. I just could not handle something that was so light because my brain was just ingrained to have these heavy German knives. I wanted to try them, but it didn't work for me at the time. Now I love this knife. I use it all the time. My wife loves it. She uses it. It's in our knife block. We're always putting this blade to work. So it took me some time to get used to it. So if you're coming from heavy blades, you want to try something lighter, just be mindful of that. If you do order it from us, pick it up, get it out of the box. Before you use it, just kind of play with it in your hand a little bit, rock it back and forth, see how it feels. And if it feels good, go for it. If not, return it, we'll take it back. It's that simple. Just don't use it first. That's all. That's all we ask. Give a little test drive without actually putting tire to the pavement. Anyway, so if you are coming from the German side and you want a lighter weight, super nimble, durable knife, this would be great. Again, just be mindful of the weight. That's all. That's it. Now, let's say they're used to using Japanese knives and you want to try this out. Well, if that's the case, the beauty behind this is you're not going to have to worry about chipping or cracking the blade. You can really abuse the ever-living crap out of this knife. And as long as you're honing it after each use, it's going to maintain its edge. And it's really easy to sharpen, whether it's on a whetstone or if you use one of those V or pull style sharpeners, which we usually would never recommend for a Japanese knife, but for global, they will absolutely do the trick. And so with your background coming from using Japanese knives, this gives you a little bit of experience with a more Western German style blade, but you're still getting that lightweight, nimble feel, including the balance, which will be a bit different compared to a lot of Japanese blades. But it's still gonna be great, I promise. Okay, I can't promise that, but it's gonna be good. Maybe. You should like it. Give it a go. So there you have it, folks. This is the Global Classic Japanese 8-inch chef's knife, AKA the G2. I think the best way that I could describe this blade is you get the nimbleness and the flexibility of use of a Japanese blade, but you're getting the durability and easy maintenance of a German blade. Check it out, the Global G2. I'm Chef Brennan with Cutlery and More. Thanks for tuning in.